Hello and welcome. I'm Conor Kelly, Writing and Language Specialist at Ted Rogers School of Management. This is part 3 of my 3-part series on the ethical and sensible uses of generative artificial intelligence for academic writing. In this last video, I'm going to focus on the final stage of the writing process, editing. I'll start off with a quick overview of the learning skills that are central to editing and revising a piece of writing. Then I'll talk about what to avoid if you want to leverage AI for the final steps of your writing process. Finally, I'll go over some of the ethical and sensible uses of AI for revising and editing your work. Like I've mentioned in previous videos, it's important to note that any use of Gen AI for coursework must comply with Policy 60, which is TMU's academic integrity policy. Potential breaches of Policy 60 include Section 3.7, presenting falsified or fabricated material, including research results. Section 5.5, submitting work created in whole or in part by artificial intelligence tools, unless expressly permitted by the faculty or contract lecturer. Section 5.6, submitting work that does not reasonably demonstrate your own knowledge, understanding, and performance. These last two are especially important when it comes to editing. You should use the editing stage to polish your writing, but whether you're using Gen AI or another tool like Grammarly or so on, you need to avoid over-polishing and producing work that doesn't actually reflect your actual writing abilities or voice. Many of the key competencies that we use to edit writing are similar to drafting. In both of these stages of the writing process, we are focused on organizing information into logical and coherent sentences, paragraphs, and sections. We're also flexing our English literacy and rhetorical skills. Our grammar, spelling, punctuation, vocabulary should be as accurate as possible, but should also enhance the clarity, persuasiveness, and individuality of our writing. In addition to these skills, there are a few others that we practice when we edit or revise a piece of writing. Attention to detail. Even if we're using AI to assist with proofreading, we need a keen eye to catch errors that might mislead or distract our readers. This takes patience and concentration, but it's absolutely a skill that can translate to a number of different fields. Audience awareness. The fixes and adjustments we make in the editing stage aren't just about accuracy. It's about tailoring our writing for a specific audience and ultimately making our messages and arguments as clear, unambiguous, and hopefully also as entertaining as possible. Ethical scholarship. In addition to fixing errors, you should also use the editing phase to ensure that your sources are accurately cited and your citations and bibliography are properly formatted. A lot of students find this tedious and confusing, and that's understandable. But try to remember that the point is to give credit where credit's due with your sources and to make it as easy as possible for other readers to retrace your research steps. Now, what if your instructor does allow for some use of Gen AI in the editing phase? I want to first lay out a few things you should avoid before I talk about how you can leverage AI for this stage. Do not ask Gen AI to edit your entire paper without feedback. For one thing, this will very likely result in a breach of academic integrity. Many instructors are fine with using Gen AI to touch up your writing, but rewriting the entire paper, that's a completely different story. This also does nothing to help you develop written communication skills. How can you learn and grow as a writer if you aren't paying attention to your own errors or strengths? You should also not simply ask the AI for general feedback. This is usually going to result in only surface level suggestions, and it will probably miss a few things as well. At the very least, ask for feedback about different aspects of your writing in isolation. Maybe once for structure and argumentation, again for grammar, spelling, and punctuation, and then again for your citations and formatting. If you already have feedback from your instructor from a different assignment, use their suggestions to focus the AI's attention on the areas that you need to improve the most. No matter how much or how little you use Gen AI to revise your writing, don't take its edits at face value. It misses errors, it makes mistakes, it fixes things that don't need to be fixed. Make sure that you're still taking the time to proofread on your own and ask yourself, Are these still my ideas? Are my paraphrases still accurate? Does this still sound like my voice? With these limitations in mind, what are the best use cases for Gen AI in the editing and revising stage of writing? You can use it to produce a reverse outline. This is particularly helpful for fixing up your organization and structure, and will help answer the question, did I write what I think I wrote? The AI will give each paragraph a short description based on whatever the main topic or theme of that paragraph is. So this will help you make choices about, adding, moving, removing paragraphs, and might also help you find gaps in your arguments that you can try to fill. You can also select specific passages that you want to revise and ask for specific feedback. Simple fixes, simple grammar or punctuation spelling fixes are barely scratching the surface of what these tools can do for you. Ask it to evaluate one aspect at a time, like I mentioned before, and define how you want the feedback to look. Do you only want criticisms, or do you want positive comments as well? Just commentary or suggestions for improvement? When it comes to fixing grammar and spelling, Gen AI usually is no better than Google Docs, but there are many things that Gen AI can do that conventional word processors cannot. You can also ask it to compile a list of problematic passages or sentences in your writing. I would say try to fix them yourself first, and only use Gen AI to reword or fix them as a last resort. At the very least, ask it to come up with a few alternatives and then choose the one that you think looks best or is closest to your genuine voice. Always, always, always use Gen AI assistance alongside a second or third pair of human eyes for feedback. AI just doesn't read the same way humans read, and it might miss awkward or confusing sentences or leaps in logic that a human eye is going to catch. It's hard to deny that Gen AI tools can speed up and smooth out the editing process. For beginner academic writers or students writing in a second or foreign language, Gen AI can help make our written work look more professional, more accurate, more reader-friendly, more creative. However, we need to be careful not to over-rely on these tools at the expense of thoroughness and integrity. Remember that you also have a wide range of free supports for writing and research at TMU, including me, that can help you succeed in your courses and grow as scholars and as professionals. That's all for this series of walkthroughs. I hope you find these videos useful for making informed, ethical, and intentional decisions in using AI for your academic work. If you ever have any questions or you just want to chat about some of these topics, feel free to reach out to me at conor.kelly@torontomu.ca or book an appointment. I'm Conor Kelly, Writing and Language Specialist at Ted Rogers School of Management. Thank you very much for watching.